Justice like lightning. This phrase became a new team's rallying cry in 1997, when Marvel introduced a new team that seemed to have it all, the Thunderbolts. With their bold costumes and powerful abilities, they appeared ready to step in as the new heroes of the Marvel Universe. But what no one knew at first was that the Thunderbolts weren't what they appeared. In a shocking twist, the team was revealed to be villains, some of the most dangerous criminals in the Marvel Universe disguised as heroes. And that reveal wasn't just a plot twist, it was a turning point that set the stage for a long, complicated history full of redemption, betrayal, and shifting loyalties. Over the years, the Thunderbolts would evolve from villainous team into a group seeking redemption, then into a government-backed Black Ops team, and back to a more anti-heroic force. Along the way, they've been led by some of Marvel's most complicated characters, from Baron Zemo to Hawkeye to even Norman Osborn. With the new Thunderbolts movie set to hit theaters next month, I figured there was no better time to look back on the team's journey, from their unexpected origins to their role in shaping the modern Marvel Universe. This is a story of a team that's always changed, but one thing has remained constant. You never quite know what you're going to get with the Thunderbolts. The true identities of the Thunderbolts were a shocking revelation. The team was, in fact, the Masters of Evil. This began when Baron Helmut Zemo gathered several of his former allies from past incarnations of the Masters of Evil during a rescue attempt of Goliath, former bodyguard to Zemo's father. Among the summoned members were Beetle, Fixer, Moonstone, and Screaming Mimi. Zemo took this accidental gathering as a sign and decided to reform the Masters of Evil in order to strike at the Avengers. Before Zemo could act, however, the villain Onslaught seemingly killed the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and many of the X-Men, creating a perfect opportunity for Zemo and his team. With Earth's heroes gone, Zemo saw a chance to fill the power vacuum. He realized that the world still needed superpowered champions. By posing as superheroes, the Masters of Evil could gain the public's trust and build a position of power to rival the Avengers. Once they had earned this trust, Zemo planned to infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D., steal their secrets, and sell them to the criminal underworld. The team adopted new heroic identities and costumes to match their new image. Baron Zemo became the patriotic citizen V, taking the guise of a World War II hero his father had killed. Beetle, a former foe of Spider-Man and the Human Torch, became Mach 1, outfitted in a high-tech suit designed by Fixer. Fixer himself became the gadget-wielding Techno, while longtime Avengers enemy Goliath took on the new identity of Atlas. Mimi, with her damaged abilities, was given technology adapted from the villain Claw, transforming her into Songbird. And finally, Zemo secretly freed Moonstone from the vault, extracting a promise of loyalty from her and making her his personal enforcer against any potential betrayal. She adopted the alias Meteor. Together they called themselves the Thunderbolts, and quickly began to gain public favor. Their initial success as heroes made a real impression, the world starting to see them as champions. Over time, some of the team members even began to see themselves as true heroes. One of these new allies was Joel, a teenage girl whose family was killed by Onslaught. After being experimented on by Arnim Zola, she sought help from the Fantastic Four, but ultimately joined the Thunderbolts, believing them to be true heroes. Zemo took this opportunity to create a fabricated backstory for the team. Thunderbolt's success didn't last long. Just as Zemo's plans seemed to be coming to fruition, the Avengers and the Fantastic Four returned. Faced with their resurrection, Zemo revealed the Thunderbolts' true villainous nature to the world, effectively sabotaging their chances of ever being seen as heroes. He did this to ensure loyalty within his team, ruining their chance at redemption to bind them to him. In the ensuing battle, the Thunderbolts turned on Zemo. With the help of size-chasing Atlas and aided by Iron Man's specially designed armor to resist mind control, Thunderbolts managed to free the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, defeating Zemo and Techno. Despite this victory, Atlas secretly helped Zemo escape while Techno fled on his own. In the aftermath, Meteorite, now feeling her loyalty was no longer needed, discarded her hero identity. She reverted to her true persona, Moonstone. Her departure marked a turning point for the team, as it became clear she never truly intended to reform, only turning against Zemo out of self-preservation. After this chaotic series of events, the Thunderbolts retreated to Colorado, unsure of their next move. They were no longer the team they once were, but the uncertainty about their future would eventually lead to new challenges and new possibilities for the Thunderbolts. Now fugitives, they struggled with their newfound status. They were no longer the public's heroes, and their future seemed uncertain. But as time passed, new members soon joined their ranks, giving them a chance at redemption once again. One of the first to join was the former Avenger Hawkeye, whose leadership skills became invaluable to the team. Another new member was Charcoal, a young African-American hero who had previously fought the Thunderbolts. Charcoal was a character created through the Create a Character contest in Wizard magazine, and his inclusion added a fresh dynamic to the group. Hawkeye, ever the strategist, convinced his new teammates that they could earn a pardon if Mach 1, the only member of the team who had actually ever killed someone, as the original Beetle, turned himself in to the authorities. Mach 1's crime, a murder committed while he was still the Beetle, had been one of the team's darkest secrets. The Thunderbolts wrestled with the decision, considering an alternate path. They debated joining the mysterious Crimson Cowl's new Masters of Evil, hoping it might offer a way out of their fugitive status. Ultimately, Hawkeye's advice prevailed. Mach 1 chose to turn himself in and plead guilty to the murder he had committed. Despite this act of atonement, the US government refused to offer the Thunderbolts any kind of pardon, leaving them out in the cold. Not long after, the Thunderbolts turned their attention to the new Masters of Evil under the leadership of Crimson Cowl. They clashed with this new team and emerged victorious, taking over their headquarters. During this confrontation, the team unmasked the Crimson Cowl, only to discover the true mastermind behind the new Masters of Evil was not the woman they had expected. Crimson Cowl was revealed to be Dallas Riordan, former ally of the Thunderbolt, but it was soon revealed she wasn't the actual Crimson Cowl. The real Crimson Cowl was Justine Hammer, a villain with long-standing connections to the criminal underworld. Despite her fate, Thunderbolts had once again caught in the middle of a tangled web of lies, betrayal, and hidden identities, all while struggling to forge a new path towards redemption. While exploring their new headquarters, the Thunderbolts encountered Ogre, a former member of the villainous Factor 3. After the group's disbandment, Ogre was left as the caretaker of their base. Thunderbolts welcomed Ogre into their ranks, but soon after, Techno betrayed them, placing him in stasis and assuming his identity. Hawkeye struck a deal with the Commission to secure Mach 1's release from prison, under the condition that he would continue to serve his sentence while operating with the team. Upon his return, Techno upgraded his armor and altered his features, reintroducing him as Mach 2. Around this time, the Thunderbolts allied with the Avengers to stop Count Nefarious' plot to detonate an ionic bomb, which would have transformed millions into beings he could control. Nefarious was ultimately defeated by the combined effort of both teams and Madame Mask, who used a weapon to disrupt his ionic energy. As the team faced external threats, internal struggles began to surface. Moonstone developed feelings for Hawkeye, but she also wrestled with a deeper conflict. Pre-Moonstone that powered her was trying to influence her into becoming more virtuous, a change that clashed with her naturally amoral nature, pushing her towards madness. The Thunderbolts soon faced the most brutal enemy yet, Henry Gyrich, who sought to destroy the team. Brainwashed Jack Monroe into becoming the new Scourge, an assassin targeting them one by one. Scourge seemingly killed Jolt, Baron Zemo, and Atlas, then infiltrated their base and destroyed Techno. Not all was as it seemed. Techno had secretly revived Jolt using her electrical powers, embedding in her the knowledge that Hawkeye had failed to secure the team's pardon. Though frustrated, the Thunderbolts put their grievances aside to confront Gyrich. During this period, Val Cooper assembled her own team, the Redeemers, which included a new Citizen 5, Smuggler, which was Atlas's brother, and Fixer, but backed up his mind into his tech pack, ensuring his survival even after Techno's apparent death. Also among their ranks was Layla Davis, the widow of the Ringer, now donning updated Beetle armor. The Redeemers aided the Thunderbolts against Gyrich, who had been manipulated by Baron Strucker through nanite technology designed to eradicate all heroes and villains. With Strucker's influence exposed, Gyrich agreed to stay quiet in exchange for his own survival. Hawkeye leveraged this to finally secure the Thunderbolts' pardon, at a cost of turning himself in. With their leader in prison, the Thunderbolts disbanded. Zemo had transferred his mind into the body of the original Citizen 5, while Atlas was resurrected after merging with Dallas, who had been left crippled in the battle with Crimson Cowl. Jolt and Charcoal, the only Thunderbolts without criminal records, joined the Redeemers under Captain America's leadership. Tragedy struck when the Redeemers were massacred by Gravitron, leaving only Citizen 5, Fixer, and Jolt as survivors. Determined to stop Graviton, the remaining Thunderbolts reassembled. During their battles, several members, including Fixer, Jolt, Moonstone, Mach 3, and Atlas, were transported to Counter-Earth, the same parallel world where the Avengers and Fantastic Four had been lost after their battle with Onslaught. There they encountered alternate versions of Heinrich and Helmut Zemo, as well as an alternate Moonstone known as Phantom Eagle. Seizing the opportunity, Fixer was forced to transfer Zemo's mind into his Counter-Earth counterpart's body. Now fully revived, Zemo killed his alternate reality father and took command. Back on Earth 616, Hawkeye escaped from prison, pursued by S.H.I.E.L.D., while Justin Hammer revealed that he had poisoned every supervillain he had ever employed, ensuring their absolute loyalty. As various factions scrambled for control, Hawkeye and Songbird reunited to form a new Thunderbolts team, recruiting former villains from the Crimson Cowl's Masters of Evil, including Plant Man, now Blackheart, Cardinal, who went by Harrier, Gypsy Moth, now Skeen, and Mankiller, now Amazon. This new team was quickly captured by the Crimson Cowl, tortured Plant Man to activate the mind-controlled poison. In a twist, Plant Man mutated into a plant-based entity, neutralizing the poison before the group was transported to the V Battalion's base. As fate would have it, the original Thunderbolts returned from Counter-Earth for a spatial rift, reuniting with their former teammates. Jolt chose to remain on Counter-Earth, joining the young allies while closing the rift destroyed by the V Battalion's base. Meanwhile, Zemo deceived Hawkeye into believing he had reformed, convincing him to leave the team alongside Amazon and Ski. Mach 3 and Harrier returned to prison, while Zemo revealed the remaining Thunderbolts that his true goal had never changed. He still sought to conquer the world, but now under the guise of saving it. In 2004, Avengers/Thunderbolts chronicled the stage of their saga. A year after their apparent disbandment, Zemo led the Thunderbolts in a plot to drain the powers of all superhumans on Earth using Moonstone. This led to a direct confrontation with the Avengers, including their former leader Hawkeye. Iron Man infiltrated their ranks disguised as Cobalt Man, and tensions erupted when Moonstone, overwhelmed by her stolen power, lost control. As chaos unfolded, Jolt returned from Counter-Earth, aiding the battle. In the end, Iron Man persuaded Hawkeye to lobotomize Moonstone to prevent catastrophe, leaving her in a coma. Their mission thwarted, the Thunderbolts scattered. Zemo swore vengeance. Blackheart was imprisoned, Xert vanished, and Vantage retired. Songbird declined an offer to join the Avengers, while Mach 3, now free, began forming yet another incarnation of the Thunderbolts. Marvel relaunched the series with New Thunderbolts #1, assembling a team that included the returning members Mach 4, formerly Mach 3, Atlas, and Songbird. They were joined by new recruits Photon, Speed Demon, Joystick, Blizzard, and the Radioactive Man. The team quickly found themselves in contact with the Atlantean terrorist group, the Fathom 5, as well as Baron Strucker's Hydra, which had secretly funded their return. In this storyline, Purple Rain, Swordsman, and his master, the Purple Man, plotted to take over New York City by drugging the water supply with the Purple Man's pheromones, giving him control over the population. The Thunderbolts managed to stop him, but before they could interrogate him, Baron Zemo teleported the Purple Man away, tortured him by inducing rigor mortis, and ultimately returned him to prison, where his powers were neutralized. Later, Hank Pym and Warbird offered the Thunderbolts a deal. If they publicly humiliated the new Avengers, they would receive full pardons for any outstanding legal issues. It was later revealed that Pym and Warbird had been blackmailed into making this offer. During the ensuing attack, only Spider-Woman emerged unscathed, brutally defeating Joystick. But before departing, Songbird defiantly told Captain America that they could have won at any time. It was later revealed the entire operation had been orchestrated by Baron Zemo, both as a way to test the team's willingness to go to extreme lengths for redemption and to personally humiliate Captain America. New threats emerged. Speed Demon was confronted by the new female Dr. Spectrum, who sought to rebuild the Squadron Sinister and conquer the world. Ultimately, Speed Demon left the Thunderbolts to join her, while Nighthawk, a former Defender and original Squadron Sinister member, was offered a spot on the team by Songbird. After Nighthawk's recruitment, Thunderbolts learned that Photon's cosmic awareness had given him a vision of the universe's destruction, an event he himself would cause. Before they could fully process this revelation, they were attacked by Moonstone, who was being controlled by Zemo in an attempt to kill Photon. When this initial attack failed, Zemo revealed himself and explained that in reviving Photon, he had mistakenly created an unstable link between him and the universe, threatening all existence. Seeing no way to save both Photon and reality itself, Zemo concluded that Photon had to die. Songbird refused to accept this and led the team against Zemo. Zemo manipulated Atlas by revealing that his long-lost brother, Smuggler, had survived Graviton's massacre of the Redeemers, was trapped in the Dark Force dimension. Using the promise of freeing him, he convinced Atlas to prevent the other Thunderbolts from interfering. He then battled Photon, ultimately defeating him and slicing his body into pieces, scattering them across time and the Dark Force dimension to prevent another resurrection. Keeping his word, Zemo freed Smuggler, and in the aftermath, he and Songbird became reluctant allies and eventually lovers. During the early days of the Civil War, the Thunderbolts fought and defeated Quicksand in Denver. Soon after, they were summoned to Washington to meet with Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, and Yellow Jacket, who proposed that the Thunderbolts hunt down supervillains and recruit them for the pro-registration side. Unbeknownst to them, Zemo had already been secretly doing this for weeks. Under Zemo's leadership, the Thunderbolts expanded rapidly, enlisting villains such as Dr. Octopus, the Wrecker, and Ox. They captured supervillains and gave them a choice: join the Thunderbolts or go to prison. Naturally, all chose the former. Meanwhile, Zemo convinced Captain America to stand down while he battled the Grandmaster. Nighthawk was revealed to be a spy for the Squadron Sinister, feeding information to Captain America's secret Avengers. In a climactic battle, Zemo successfully thwarted the Grandmaster's scheme to control the wellspring of power. Seizing it for himself, he assured the team that he intended to use this power responsibly, regardless of the cost. Songbird, whose abilities had temporarily failed during the fight, used a simple opera note to shatter the Moonstone, causing Zemo to be sucked into a cosmic void. As he vanished, he cried out that he would never have harmed the world he fought so hard to protect. With the Thunderbolts in disarray following the Wellspring conflict, the team ultimately disbanded. Mach 4 and Fixer accepted jobs with the Commission of Superhuman Activities. Blizzard was released from jail and chose to leave. Atlas, after being exposed to the Wellspring energy, was left catatonic and stuck in his enlarged state, with Smuggler staying behind to care for her. Joystick was imprisoned for her betrayal, and Speed Demon fled to avoid arrest. Only Songbird, Moonstone, Swordman, and the Radioactive Man remained on the team, setting the stage for the new era of Thunderbolts. With Thunderbolts number 110, a new creative team took the reins, introducing a revamped roster and a new direction for the team. Now under the control of Norman Osborn, the team consisted of Moonstone, Pointed Field Leader, Bullseye, Penance, Radioactive Man, Songbird, Swordsman, and Venom, who was Matt Gargan. Following the events of Civil War, several Thunderbolts were recruited into the pro-registration army. Venom, Lady Deathstrike, Taskmaster, Bullseye, Jester, and Jack-o'-lantern were deployed to hunt down anti-registration heroes. But they saw little real combat. Jester and Jack-o'-lantern were later executed by the Punisher after being sent to capture Spider-Man. Taskmaster, Bullseye, and Lady Deathstrike fought in the final battle of Civil War. Despite the roster changes, familiar themes from the original series remain, such as Songbird's vendetta against Bullseye for crippling Jack Flag, Osborn's questionable pursuit of redemption, and the growing friendship between Songbird and Radioactive Man. Moonstone's leadership proved disastrous, leading to Songbird reclaiming control and expanding the team's mission beyond hunting unregistered suits. As this run faced delays, several one-shots and a Penance miniseries were released to fill the gap. The Penance series followed the former Speedball's quest for vengeance against Nitro. The villain responsible for the Stamford disaster kicked off Civil War. Other one-shots expanded plotlines, such as the mysterious murder of Songbird's mother and Swordman's betrayal of the Thunderbolts after realizing that Osborn would not use his cloning technology to resurrect his sister Andrea. The team was soon pulled into the secret invasion event when Thunderbolt Mountain was attacked by the Skrull sleeper agent Kölner, also known as Captain Marvel. Just as this occurred, Arnim Zola delivered a clone version. Andrea struck her to sword. Battle with the Skrulls revealed deep fractures in the team. Moonstone and Bullseye feared Andrea was a Skrull infiltrator, prompting Moonstone to betray Swordsman by collaborating with the Skrulls to expose her. Revelation that Andrea was in fact a clone led to Bullseye murdering her to protect Moonstone, who then framed the Skrulls for Andrea's death with Osborn's help. After successfully defeating the Skrulls armada in Washington, D.C., including 2 Super Skrulls, Osborn manipulated the media, painting the Thunderbolts as Earth's true saviors while undermining Tony Stark's leadership. The team was then deployed to New York, where they reluctantly joined Earth's heroes in the final battle against the Skrull invasion. As Norman Osborn consolidated power during Dark Reign, he and Moonstone worked to eliminate Thunderbolts members whose morals clashed with their agenda. Radioactive Man was deported to China after Osborn revoked his work visa, while Penance was sent to a corrupt mental institution, ensuring he would never be freed. Moonstone then aided Bullseye and Venom in attempting to kill Songbird, inadvertently revealing to her that Osborn had authorized her execution. Though she had managed to incapacitate Moonstone and Bullseye, Venom nearly killed her during an aerial battle. She barely survived the crash, only for Bullseye to ambush her, until Swordsman intervened, saving her and blowing up the wreckage to fake her death. Bullseye, Moonstone, and Venom transferred to the Dark Avengers. Osborn assembled a new Thunderbolt squad, repurposing them as elite Hammer assassination unit, led by Scourge, who was later revealed to be Nuke. The team included Black Widow, who was secretly Natasha Romanoff, working undercover for Nick Fury, alongside Ghost, Paladin, Headsman, Eric O'Grady, Ant-Man, Grizzly, and Mr. X. Each member brought their unique skill set. Ghost's technological expertise and paranoia, and Mr. X's ruthless martial arts math. Their first mission was an assassination attempt on Deadpool, who tried to blackmail Osborn over stolen Skrull data. Deadpool and Taskmaster thwarted the attack. The Thunderbolts then traveled to Madripoor to recruit Mr. X, and Osborn later introduced a new Scourge, someone he seemed to recognize. When Songbird resurfaced, Osborn immediately deployed the Thunderbolts to eliminate her. During this mission, Black Widow revealed her true identity as Natasha Romanoff and defected to aid Songbird's escape, inadvertently leading Osborn to Fury's location. Osborn personally attempted to kill Fury, only to discover his target was a life model decoy. Meanwhile, Scourge's brainwashing activated upon seeing Osborn's hologram, triggering him to fire at his leader, only for the bullet to pass through and kill the headsman instead, shocking the team. During Siege, Osborn sent the Thunderbolts to Asgard to retrieve a powerful weapon. They succeeded in stealing Odin's spear, which Scourge used to sever US agents' left limb. Mighty Avengers intercepted them, leading to the most of the teams captured. Paladin and Ant-Man managed to escape. Following the events of Siege, a new Thunderbolts team emerged under the leadership of Luke Cage, who was tasked by Captain Steve Rogers with reforming the program. Unlike Osborn's version, this team would consist of criminals actually seeking redemption. Cage's roster included Ghost, who had betrayed Osborn, Moonstone, despite Songbird's objection, Juggernaut, vouched for by Professor X, Crossbones, whom Cage hoped would act as a stabilizing force, and Man-Thing, who served as a team's mode of transportation. During their first training session, Baron Zemo had ambushed Cage, proclaiming himself the new leader of the Thunderbolts, challenging them to escape the raft under his command. Though Crossbones was eager to comply, the rest remained skeptical, revealing the event as a test of the team's loyalty and the raft's security. Soon after, the Thunderbolts were deployed against Asgardian trolls, successfully subduing them, but earning Cage's reprimand for excessive force. Their next mission saw them encounter S.H.I.E.L.D. agents mutated by the Terrigen Mist. After containing the threat, the team returned to the raft where Crossbones was confirmed to be unaffected by the mist, and Mach 5 was injured and silent. Their time at the raft was interrupted when a power outage allowed the inmates to escape. Working alongside Warden Walker and the Avengers Academy staff, the Thunderbolts managed to restore order. Later, during the Shadowlands storyline, the team was sent to dismantle a hand stronghold and rescue a young prisoner. During this battle, Fixer was stabbed, and Songbird was incapacitated, giving Moonstone the opportunity to take control. Following Crossbones' removal from the team, Hyperion was recruited to aid in fighting giant monsters. However, he soon betrayed the Thunderbolts, critically injuring Man-Thing and leaving Moonstone and Songbird to drown. After stealing control of the nanites that kept the Thunderbolts in check, he tested them on Juggernaut, evoking a brutal confrontation. With the help of Ghost and Moonstone, Juggernaut overpowered Hyperion, and the team allowed Man-Thing to deal with him after sensing his fear. In response to Hyperion's betrayal, Satana was recruited when it was discovered that the raft was vulnerable to magic. Due to the increasing complexity of their missions, the Thunderbolts Advisory Committee approved the formation of a secondary team, the Underbolts. While the main team embarked on a mission in Eastern Europe, Songbird, Mach 5, and Fixer selected new recruits from the raft's inmates, including Troll, Shocker, Centurious, Boomerang, and Mr. Hyde. During the Fury itself event, a worthy hammer landed inside the raft prison, drawing Juggernaut, who also felt the influence of Sidorak. Upon touching the hammer, he transformed into Kurd, Breaker of Stone. Destroying the prison and freeing most of its inmates, the Thunderbolts returned to contain the chaos, with the Beta team secretly disabling the nanites in hopes of a future escape. Meanwhile, Moonstone took control of the women's prison, and Ghost worked with the Warden to prevent a catastrophic malfunction. Amid the chaos, Crossbones and another inmate managed to escape. With order restored, the main team pursued Juggernaut/Kurth, only to be disrupted when Man-Thing underwent an unforeseen transformation and teleported away. Satana revealed that she had reached the next stage of his evolution, but before she could elaborate, Juggernaut attacked. Thunderbolts attempted to free him from the hammer's influence, ultimately failed, leaving Kurth to escape and continue his destructive path. 2012, a new incarnation of the Thunderbolts emerged as part of Marvel Now, composed of Red Hulk, Deadpool, Elektra, Agent Venom, and the Punisher. This team, not government-sponsored, was introduced in a storyline written by Daniel Way and illustrated by Steve Dillon. Red Hulk assembles this iteration of the Thunderbolts as a strike team, operating under extreme conditions, close to what would be classified as Code Red. His choices of Deadpool, Elektra, Punisher, and Agent Venom reflect the team's dangerous, unrelenting nature, each member struggling with a personal condition that can't be cured. Much like X-Force, Red Hulk's Thunderbolts carry out morally questionable missions that cross the line, operating with little regard for the conventional heroics of other teams. One of their first major missions involves the resurrection of Samuel Stearns, the leader, using Red Hulk's unique access to gamma radiation. However, this process doesn't restore Stearns to his previous genius, as he returns with no powers or intellect. Red Hulk then takes the team to Katajaya, where they encounter Madman, a figure supplying gamma technology. In a dangerous gambit, Red Hulk absorbs energy from a gamma pipeline, forces it into Stearns to bring him back to life. Though this only leads to further complication, Stearns' intellect has been hidden online, and while they search for answers, things go south when Madman confronts them, resulting in a tragic event where his brother dies from the overwhelming knowledge Stearns whispers into his ear. The Thunderbolts follow leads to Kabul, discovering Elektra's brother, Orestes Nachos, is creating an army of Crimson Dynamos powered by gamma radiation. After a confrontation with their brother, Elektra claims to have killed him, but Punisher uncovers the lie, ultimately taking care of the situation. Meanwhile, Red Leader, whose brain struggles to handle the surge of downloaded knowledge, is severely affected, suffering debilitating nosebleeds from the information overload. Trust within the team begins to erode, prompting a system of give and take missions. In one case, Punisher requests a mission to wipe out a crime family, while in another, the team is tricked by the leader into taking part in an intergalactic invasion during the Infinity crossover event. Here, Red Leader's manipulations became more evident as he engineers his escape from the team, only to find himself almost sacrificed to Thanos' Black Order. Through these trials, Red Hulk's grip on the team remains tenuous at best. Later, Ghost Rider joins the team to help contain the power of Abigail Mercy, whose escalating abilities threaten the team's survival. This brings the group into Hell, where they make a deal with Mephisto to remove Mercy's growing influence. Another strange mission leads them into a haunted swamp in Honduras, where an ancient artifact is sought. Red Leader once again betrays the team and almost costs them their lives by activating traps in an ancient temple. When they finally discover the celestial artifact within, it leads to disastrous results, as Red Leader attempts to drink its blood, causing his brain to explode. Meanwhile, Mancuso, a former teammate, is empowered by the Celestial and warns Red Hulk that if he continues to act recklessly, he'll be forced to kill him. Ultimately, Ross chooses not to push further. Climactic showdown unfolds when the team tracks down Dr. Faustus. Punisher, angry over Faustus' crimes, attempts to kill him, but Red Hulk seeks to recruit him instead. This disagreement causes Punisher to quit the team. A bomb is later planted in the Punisher's safe house, and he begins a one-man war against his former teammate. After taking down various members, including decapitating Deadpool and depowering Ghost Rider, Punisher eventually confronts Red Hulk. The battle ends when both are arrested by Hawkeye and the Avengers. The fallout of these events is catastrophic, as it is revealed that the Red Leader has orchestrated the bomb attack, manipulating Punisher's vendetta to disband the team. The team finally returns to Katajaya to capture Leader, who is now in control of the region, and Red Hulk decides to dissolve the Thunderbolts for good. Following the Avengers standoff storyline, the Winter Soldier assembles his own version of the Thunderbolts. His team includes himself, Fixer, Atlas, Moonstone, Mach 10, and the sentient cosmic entity Cobalt. Winter Soldier, Kobik, and Mach 10 assist Fixer, Atlas, and Moonstone in evading S.H.I.E.L.D.'s grasp. In return, they agree to join forces as the Thunderbolts, with a singular new mission, ensuring that the Kobik project, an immensely powerful reality-warping creation, never falls into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s hands again. Over the course of their 12-issue run, Bucky's Thunderbolts face a series of threats, including the all-new Inhumans, the Squadron Supreme, and mysterious alien invaders. They constantly push the boundaries of Kobik's immense reality-altering abilities. Kobik is not only responsible for creating the team's Arctic base, but also solves Fixer's lingering time loop problem from the Thunderbolts throughout time storyline, further proving her volatile yet crucial power. After the events of Civil War II, the team reunites with Songbird, who plays a key role in rescuing Bucky from a version of Captain America who has secretly turned fascist. Songbird joins the team, briefly rekindling her romantic relationship with Abe Jake, Mach 10. As the Thunderbolts prepare for the Secret Empire event, face major assault when Zemo and his Masters of Evil attack their headquarters. Just as the battle intensifies, Jolt is unexpectedly transported back from Counter-Earth, arriving just in time to save Atlas from exposure to the Arctic elements. In a pivotal moment, Zemo offers the original Thunderbolts members a dark choice: embrace their darker instincts and join Hydra's resurgence, or die. While Abe and Songbird reject the offer, Fixer, Moonstone, and Atlas choose to leave the ruined base with Zemo and his Masters of Evil, betraying their old team. In the aftermath, Songbird is left searching the snowy expanse for Abe, who's presumed dead. Meanwhile, Ghost, who's been spying on the Thunderbolts this entire time, rescues a shrunken Jolt who has been reduced in size due to the strain of her powers during the battle. When the symbiote god Null surrounds Earth with a deadly wave of symbiote goo, threatening to wipe out all life on the planet, Mayor Wilson Fisk seeks an opportunity to strike back. As chaos spreads throughout the city, Fisk secretly assembles a team of superpowered criminals who have been operating under his radar. Criminals that can potentially stop Null and his symbiote creatures. With the fate of the city at stake, Fisk enlists the help of some notorious figures, including Taskmaster, the de facto leader with photographic reflexes, Mr. Fear, whose fear-inducing powers bring terror to his enemies, Bartok the Leaper, a master of acrobatics and hand-to-hand combat, Rhino, a powerful, nearly unstoppable force with nearly indestructible hide, Star, the current keeper of one of the Infinity Gems and a formidable cosmic power, Amper, whose electrical abilities add to the team's strength, finally Snakehead, a deadly criminal with an affinity for reptilian themes. Fisk's plan involves getting Star, who is the current keeper of an Infinity Gem, into the heart of battle against Null. In exchange for their help, Fisk promised these criminals a chance to take down the god, but first they must seek out a man he believes could turn the tide of the conflict. Only one criminal, Incendiary, opts to stay behind and take his chances in jail. But before he can act, Kingpin's guards take him away and execute him. The remaining 7 criminals agree to follow Fisk's plan. Despite their reluctance, they are dubbed the Thunderbolts by Fisk, who now owns the rights to the name. Team's first challenge is an immediate one. A massive symbiote dragon attacks them. Snakehead is devoured in the chaos, but Mr. Fear and Star manage to defeat the creature. They quickly realize Star's cosmic powers have their limit, leaving her disoriented and weak after the battle. Ampere, frustrated by the odds, announces he's leaving. Mr. Fear kills him before he can go. Taskmaster reprimands Mr. Fear, though the team loots Ampere's electric gauntlets, giving Taskmaster and Bartok a new dangerous boost to their ability. As the team regroups, Taskmaster is unable to prevent Rhino from abandoning the mission. In the face of increasing symbiote threats, the team opts not to assist the Manhattan Defenders. They are soon attacked by a creature possessing Ampere's corpse. A horde of ravenous symbiotes pursues them, forcing the Thunderbolts to flee to a fishing boat, almost leaving Bartok behind. They finally reach their destination, Ravencroft Institute. Inside Ravencroft, the Thunderbolts meet the man Kingpin believes could defeat Null, the notorious supervillain and former Thunderbolts leader Norman Osborn. Alongside Osborn, the Thunderbolts are joined by additional allies, including Figment, Fool Killer, Grizzly, Manbull, and Mr. Hyde. As they prepare for their next move, the team learns that Null has already defeated Sentry and absorbed Void, leaving Osborn to lead the Thunderbolts in receiving Sentry's corpse. Plan to use Sentry's body as destroy Null's lair atop the Empire State Building, a suicide mission. Fool Killer is taken over by one of the symbiotes and is killed in the ensuing chaos. Taskmaster uses Figment's abilities to create the illusion the Thunderbolts sacrifice themselves to complete the mission. Following the broadcast of Thunderbolt's supposed sacrifice by Mayor Fisk, the team returns and blackmails him into raising their pay and providing them with further missions once Null is defeated. During the Devil's Reign storyline, Mayor Fisk expands the Thunderbolts into multiple units, using them to crack down on superhuman vigilantes. Partnering with Senator Arthur Crane of the Friends of Humanity and other benefactors, Fisk deploys these Thunderbolt squads to assist the NYPD in arresting superheroes. The first major capture is Moon Knight, taken down by Agony, Electro 2, Rhino, and US Agent. Meanwhile, Dr. Octopus leads NYPD and Homeland Security in raiding the Baxter Building, apprehending Reed Richards and Susan Storm, though the Human Torch and Thing manage to evacuate Franklin and Valeria Richards before they are caught. Shocker captures Darkhawk, but is overpowered by Luke Cage and Jessica Jones when he tries to take them in as well. At Rand Corporation, Crossbone leads NYPD squad to arrest Danny Rand, Iron Fist. Over at the Daily Bugle, Taskmaster and Whiplash stage a hostage situation to draw out Spider-Man, beating him severely before leaving him for the NYPD. After confronting Mayor Fisk, Elektra in her Daredevil persona becomes the target of Kraven the Hunter. Thunderbolts also succeed in capturing most of the Purple Children, only to face resistance from Jessica Jones and the Champions. who attempt a rescue but are repelled by the Thunderbolts' latest recruit, Abomination. His recruitment follows Rhino's decision to quit as he refuses to hunt down children. After Fisk's downfall, newly elected Mayor Luke Cage works to dismantle a Thunderbolt unit still loyal to the King, with help from Spectre. Seeking to rebrand the team, public relations specialist Helen Astrania is tasked with reshaping the Thunderbolt's image, while heroes like Black Knight, Falcon, Mockingbird, Spectrum, and Wasp turn down the leadership role. Mayor Cage and Asantria decide to approach Hawkeye to lead the reformed team. Hawkeye is eventually chosen to lead the Thunderbolts, joined by America Chavez, Power Man, Persuasion, and Guts and Glory, a mysterious new recruit whose background and recruitment by Helen Astrania remains classified. Their first mission sees them apprehending Abomination, Agony, Electro 2, Taskmaster, and Whiplash, who escape a prison transport and take hostages. Hawkeye clashes with U.S. Agent, who insists he still works for the government. Most of the escapees are defeated, with Spectrum arriving in time to subdue Electro 2. When Mayor Luke Cage asks Spectrum if she'll stay on with the team, she says that she'll think about it. After a press conference detailing their latest battle, Helen Estrania sends the Thunderbolts to Metropolitan Museum of Art to handle a mysterious creature. They struggle until Spectrum arrives, and the creature, revealing itself as Ergo the Unbreakable from Monster Isle, surrenders. Later, Helen convinces Hawkeye to add Ergo to the team, and Spectrum officially joins. Following the night with Blue Marvel, Spectrum participates in a Thunderbolts training session in Central Park. When Helen arrives, she informs Hawkeye that he no longer needs to wear his mask, then dispatches the team to Central Park Zoo, where they confront the Super Apes, who declared independence from Red Ghost under their new leader, a superpowered chimp named Yaroslav. The apes prove difficult to subdue until the NYPD releases a knockout gas. The team later responds to Melter and Whirlwind, quickly defeating them. During an interview featuring Black Widow, the Thunderbolts are called to respond to an attack by Terminus. As the battle unfolds, Hawkeye begins hearing a mysterious voice in his head, taunting him. When Helen visits Hawkeye's apartment, she finds him floating above his bed, his eyes glowing. Hawkeye experiences a vision of the Thunderbolts being attacked by Terminus, revealing Nightmare as the true mastermind. Nightmare, seeking to use America Chavez's powers to invade the multiverse, torments the Thunderbolts with visions of Dormammu, the Mindless Ones, Thanos, the Marvel Zombies, and Galactus. America breaks free and liberates her teammates from their nightmare. As the team battles Nightmare, Ergo unleashes his ultimate attack, growing massive and smashing the villain. When Nightmare recovers, Persuasion uses her powers to force him into an eternal sleep. Afterward, when America Chavez reports that Nightmare has been banished to a dimension, he will remain dormant for a long time. The next morning, Mayor Luke Cage visits Hawkeye, placing him on probation and demanding a better from the Thunderbolts. As Cage departs, he tells Hawkeye they'll see him Monday. After the events of Captain America Cold War, Bucky Barnes assumes the mantle of the New Revolution, dismantling the Outer Circle and inheriting the vast intelligence network. With his newfound power, he allies with Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, later revealed to be a life model decoy, to assemble the new Thunderbolts team with a singular goal: eliminating the Red Skull and his operations. First recruits, Destroyer and Red Guardian, lead a raid on Red Skull's base in Argentina, successfully eliminating his host body and mouthpiece, Alexander Lukin. Following the Red Skull's death, Wilson Fisk acquires his fortune, prompting Revolution to enlist Black Widow and White Widow for a covert operation at the Hellfire Club Gap. The Widows succeed in trapping the Skull's Nazi gold in an inescapable pocket dimension, cutting off his financial resources. However, Fontaine uncovers a deeper conspiracy. Nazi operatives within the US government plan to bomb the Red Skull's secret base in Latveria, cover his escape, an act that could ignite a global conflict while allowing him to return stronger than ever. To prevent this, Revolution recruits Shang-Chi, tasking him with intercepting US agent and American kaiju in Hong Kong. Both have been deceived by Red Skull's agent in the US military to unwittingly carry out his plan. As Red Skull remotely forces American kaiju into a destructive frenzy, Revolution and US agent work together to neutralize him. With the truth revealed, US agent joins the Thunderbolts, seeking his own revenge on the Skull. Refusing to heed Barnes' warnings, Dr. Doom denies the Thunderbolts access to Latveria, dismisses the concerns about the Red Bull's escape. Left with no choice, Revolution's team infiltrates Latveria, confronting Red Skull in his hidden bunker. Battle rages until Dr. Doom himself intervenes, furious over the intrusion. As Doom prepares to annihilate the intruders with devastating energy blasts, the Thunderbolts teleport at the last second, leaving the Red Skull to take the full force of Doom's attack, killing him instantly. Enraged at being manipulated, Doom contacts Barnes, ultimately spares the team when Barnes boldly calls him a Thunderbolt. By June 2022, Thunderbolts was in development at Marvel Studios, with Jake Schreier directing and Eric Pearson and Joanna Callow writing the screenplay. Initially set to begin filming in June 2023, production was delayed due to the Writers Guild of America strike, but later took place from February to June 2024 in locations such as Atlanta, Utah, and Kuala Lumpur. The film, part of the Phase 5 of the MCU, is scheduled for release on May 2nd of 2025 and follows a team of anti-heroes. Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, US Agent, Ghost, and Taskmaster, recruited by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine for a dangerous mission. Their objective takes a dire turn when they face the Void, the dark alter ego of the Sentry, posing a catastrophic threat. Thunderbolts have had one of the most unpredictable and compelling journeys in Marvel history, shifting from villains posing as heroes to a legitimate force for both justice and chaos. Across their many incarnations, the team has reflected their ever-changing nature of redemption, power, and the fine line between hero and villain. Whether they're fighting for control, for redemption, or just for survival, the Thunderbolts remain one of Marvel's most fascinating teams. But now, I want to hear from you. Which Thunderbolt lineup is your favorite? Do you think they work better as anti-heroes or outright villains? And what are your thoughts on the upcoming MCU debut? Be sure to let me know down in the comments. And enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on more stories on Tales from the Long Box. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.